I'm
Yeah.
sure people over here have maybe 10 to 20, maybe 30 years of experience. Some people thinking of doing this after retirement. It's all about like whether you want to do something right or not. And like when you are sitting at that independent director position, like all you need to do is you need to ask the right questions.
Great.
So
Where are
good
you
evening,
logging in
everyone.
from?
I'm logging in from Delhi. So
Delhi.
yeah, 2 years back, came back from the US. So Delhi is home, and it's been 10 years in the US.
Hmm.
So I was done, and I wanted to help build the country. So came back for this.
Hmm.
So yeah, independent directors.
Independent director. And what is your current level of experience in the industry?
So I have around 20 years of experience. So I'm a electrical engineer and MBA in sustainability. So went to the US
And
for
MBA you did 10 years back, right?
MBA. I did more than 10 years back. Yeah, 2012. Like I started my MBA in
And
sustainability.
2014 you completed. Got it.
I completed, yeah. So I've been involved with startups a bit. I've been involved with corporates as well. So worked with multiple industries.
We
So
worked with TCS
I
and
worked,
some foreign companies.
yeah. So I worked with SR Steel initially, then TCS. Started up in India,
Hmm.
went abroad for my MBA. Started up with the two companies over there, like one of my own and another one. Didn't work. But finally, like I landed up in Silicon Valley, and that was a fantastic run. Had a multi-million dollar exit with that firm, and then I'm back. So that was the plan that once I'm back over here, like I wanted to start up, but also help build the nation. Independent director, I think, was a very natural transition, I would say.
Hmm.
Like you can be a person on the board for seven different companies. And once you are there, you're helping the companies with the growth, which I feel, like many of these companies over here have potential.
Hmm.
So, for example, like this December, like I came on board with a startup. So I've been advising them since maybe around six plus months.
Acha.
And then finally, when they went to incorporation, they basically offered me some equity, and I said, okay, I'll be happy to be a founder director.
Wow.
And yeah, so like I don't work full time for them. Like
Huh.
I still work full time for my own venture, which I'm working on.
This is the magic of branding and networking.
Exactly. No, that's what I want to say, that the personal branding class which was there, it was like pretty amazing. Dr. Siddhartha, like hats off to him.
Huh.
Priyanka Karwal, like simply amazing, so committed. They personally check in on whether you complete your assignments or not. And it's things like Twitter, LinkedIn, like those are things which are basic. There were aspects which we never thought of, like PR or maybe writing a book or
Hmm.
maybe in even advising startups. That never occurred to me. And it was just that push from Dr. Siddhartha that, have you been doing this? And I said, okay. And it so happened that all of a sudden, like I run into somebody from IIT Delhi, and these kind of connections happen when you have high presence on social media. So
Hmm.
people are looking up to you as a thought leader.
Hmm.
So like my background is in energy, renewable energy, clean tech. And I think like many people in the sustainability field have been looking up to me as a thought leader.
Hmm.
And like with this course, like I also like in a way, like I'm an ESG professional now because that pillar of governance was something which was missing.
Hmm.
And that is something which has been perfectly supported. And I do want to say that like when you're part of a team as a director, as a person like who is maybe in a position to give some direction,
Hmm.
I would say that like your all your experience comes behind you.
So
And then
how many startups are you mentoring?
so I'm mentoring like four startups. So one is a Silicon Valley based startup, like one
Wow.
startup is Dehradun based, IIT Delhi. So like that, you like four startups are working on currently. And also like couple of non-profits are in the pipeline. So like
Hmm.
I'm traveling to Bangalore, I think in 2 weeks for registration as a trustee on a non-profit board.
So
So
you're a
so
trustee also. A lot of branding you've done. How many books are you writing?
So, like, I'm writing actively. One book is in progress, very much, which should be coming maybe in the next 6 months. And there
Huh.
are two more books which, like, I have been in the process of writing. So,
Huh.
like, my target is like publish all three books within this year. And pretty much, like, I had a goal that I want to be a director at the end of till the end of the year. That
Hmm.
happened. Something magical, I'm sure, will occur with
So
all
before
of
you even got appointed as an independent director, you first become a executive director of a private limited.
I would suggest people that one should try and do that, but also
Yeah,
like back oneself up with whatever experiences they have. I'm
yeah.
sure people over here have maybe 10 to 20, maybe 30 years of experience. Some people thinking of doing this after retirement. It's all about like whether you want to do something right or not. And like when you are sitting at that independent director position, like all you need to do is you need to ask the right questions.
I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to next get continue this networking, get
Right,
appointed in other startups also. Some of
right,
them don't get appointed, and when
right,
you're introducing them to merchant bankers,
right.
when they're IPO ready, introduce them to merchant bankers. The criteria for SME IPO, you will
Sure.
mentor the startups to that, and
Right.
then you'll call in your favor when you introduce them to merchant bankers. And whether it will be that company or some other company, merchant bankers are getting exposed to so many, na 80, 90 companies. One merchant banker is doing IPO of sometimes 30 companies. तो वो किसी और के में आपको इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर बना देंगे.
Yeah, through you, in fact, like I've got a connection of a merchant banker. So that has been helpful. And Priyanka ji is like regularly putting us in touch with merchant bankers, like pushing our resume. So
So
it's only a matter of
did
time, I would
you
say.
I have this question. Did your branding get a boost after joining Skill Arbitrage?
Oh yes, oh yes. There was a tremendous boost. I was not even thinking of promoting myself per se. I used to feel that whatever is the accolades which I get, it's okay. But then getting awards, for example, right? Now I look forward to getting awards and then posting on social
Did
media.
you
Sorry?
did you get any?
I have one over here from you folks, but like last year, like I won, I think 3 or 4 awards, like in product management as well as with skill arbitrage. And yeah,
You
the
will be
year
guest
before that,
lectures on these next.
I have been doing some guest lectures as well. So Delhi Technological University, DTU, previously it was known as Delhi University. So I've
Hmm.
taken a guest lecture with them, a guest lecture also with the TERI, so the
Okay.
Energy and Resource Institute. So it is the think tank in the energy domain.
And you
And then
also are you going for a podcast?
like now that we are talking about it, yes, in fact, like something like a podcast is being planned for this coming weekend. So on Sunday, like I'm appearing on a study abroad pod, but nonetheless it's something which helps put the brand out, and
Huh.
ultimately that visibility, there are so many people, so that visibility which is there, right, which we learn with the personal branding, that really helps.
Great.
So
And
so
when
yeah.
did you clear the exam?
So I cleared the exam in April, so joined in January. In fact, today marks the exact 1 year when I joined Skill Arbitrage, 8th of Jan.
Got
So
it.
so
And
yeah,
how do you feel now after having done the branding? You're still to get appointed, I understand, as an ID, but you became a founder director and got advisor equity, which is like even cooler for
right,
now. But
right.
how do you feel after this little journey? And it's not over. You have access for 5 years. You're going to continue, you're going to build on top of it.
I think like firstly, that network which is there, that is like pretty huge. Like everybody who is coming to the class, like taking those lectures, firstly, like intellectually they are growing in a new domain, like governance. I don't think many people are learning that. So that network is something which is huge. Secondly, like the personalized attention which is there from like the teachers which are there, say Priyanka ma'am, like or Dr. Siddharth or Satish Bhattu, like they all take personal attention to set you up for success. And then also the course material which was there, that was useful. Just see thickness of this, which is the bare act, versus
Hmm.
this. It is like one-fifth the size, right? One can imagine that there is a tremendous amount of benefit of joining this course because you fast track yourself to getting into the data bank. And after all, once you are early in the database, your chances of getting picked up are also early. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows over here on this call, and if not, maybe to their knowledge, that there is going to be a big reset. 10 years are completing. 2013 is when the Companies Act came in, and it's 2023 is just finished. So this August, somewhere around that time, July, August, like we will be seeing the great reset. All the IDs are retiring because they have completed their 5 plus 5 years. And
Hmm.
that is where like many of us on the call, like myself, everybody else like who's looking, they are going to make a mark.
Yeah, that is
So,
for existing retirement, apart from new positions and all of that. Hey, I
right,
just
right,
want
right.
to show your certificate, okay? This is the one you get from IICA once you clear it, and every student who clears, this is the IICA exam. A lot of you were asking
Right.
for the sample. This is what it looks like, okay? And this also has a QR code, validation, all of that. Okay, so this is how it is.
Abhyuday, I like you have prepared. I like to be prepared as well. I'll show the folks something
You'll
as
have
well.
to remove zoom blur because it's not visible.
Okay.
And people are asking what at what age you became director.
So at age 42,
Huh.
so I'm pretty young for that. But yeah, like with all the branding which goes in and all the efforts which do matter. Like once you join the course, it's not that it's an automatic thing. You have to put in the effort. And
Hmm.
I would say I had a very clear goal, come in with a very clear goal. I would say everyone on the call that like I had kept in mind that there are 42 modules. I'm going to spend one, like I'm going to complete one module a day,
Hmm.
and like apart from that, all the courses which are happening, come what may, I'll complete them. Try to complete as much course material as possible. And like I completed it in a record time.
So
Uh,
anybody can do it in 2 months, 3 months.
anybody can do it easily in 2 months. Yes, that's not a question at all.
Great.
So
Congrats, Nishant. Well
yeah,
done.
thanks a lot. So I would say okay.
You'll
So
have to remove zoom blur effect, background
okay.
blur effect. Otherwise, we
So
can't see anything.
yeah, okay. And nonetheless, these are the two
What is?
certificates that I got from National Skill Development. Yeah, so those were the two which I
Can
wanted to
you
show.
just go into the zoom settings and remove that effect, and then you can show it.
Um,
I'll tell you where to do it. You have to go to video, जहाँ पर आपका वीडियो आ रहा है, स्टॉप वीडियो
okay,
का है,
blur
वहाँ
my
पर ब्लर
background.
माय बैकग्राउंड का है, वो बंद
Okay,
करना है.
so this is, I came back for this, the Indian flag. That's what matters to me. And
हाँ.
that's what matters to everyone. Everybody is
Wow.
going to work towards that 5 trillion economy.
Right.
And all of us who are working right now, like we have to build it. We have to be the
Was
leaders of the next
true.
generation. Okay, so this is,
अभी दिख रहा है, अभी दिख रहा है.
yeah, so you see this.
Wow.
So these are the two organizations which are giving this certificate. So
Congrats.
that is one. So this
So
is
proud.
an A plus,
Yeah.
and I guess this is the second one which is there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got an A on this one. And I would say I want to share this Student of the Month award as
Very
well. So yeah, can't be more prepared. So one
nice.
should always be prepared. Getting those placements is for all the women on like in this group right now. Like
Yeah.
your placement is very likely because of the numbers of probability. But then all the men on the call, I would say that you have a very good chance as well, provided that you are very focused and you make sure that you get into the database, you clear the exam. And the
And it
only
is
way,
possible to do that alongside your existing job, no tension.
yeah, like once you're focused, you are giving 2 hours a day and like working over the weekends, you can do it. That's not a problem. Like you have to be committed and you should be very clear that you want to be in the independent director database. Once you have that juggernaut of things rolling for you, I'm sure like you will get placed this year. There's nothing which can stop you from getting placed.
Got it. One question somebody has asked that serving of IDs 5 + 5 years. No,
Mm-hmm.
5 years is your maximum single appointment. It can be renewed again after that for another 5 years.
Right.
After that, there's a cooling off period. That same company can't appoint you, but other companies can appoint you. But the cooling off period is 3 years. Okay. So three after 10 years for the same company, you can't be appointed to just preserve your natural independence. Other companies you can do, and after 3 years, then again you can come back. So there is
Right.
no retirement age. Okay. All right. Awesome, everybody. This is the time. What would you say? Last call to people. Last piece of advice. People on the fence.
Yeah.
After today, this opportunity won't be there. Next time we do a boot camp, it'll be later on. Scholarship will be different. Everything will be different. There'll be this kind of offer won't be there.
So
And they are
one thing,
thinking, can this
one
happen?
thing I want to mention is like I did it without a scholarship.
Hmm.
So everybody over here who is getting a chance to get a scholarship, go grab it because this
Yeah.
scholarship opportunity is not going to be there.
Okay.
So, and the others are like charging exorbitant prices and
Hmm.
they are maybe not even focused on like some of the courses which are very relevant. So I think like I really got a great amount of value from the corporate governance sessions, which was like a role play. So nowhere can we get that kind of experience. Like I've done my research, done a thorough research. You don't get that in the market right now. And
Hmm.
that's one course which you guys are doing pretty well, and it adds a lot of value. Once you're sitting in a director level discussion, those are things which really matter, the role play kind of things which are there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Nishant.
Thanks a
I
lot.
love the fact that you are also feeling that emotion for the country.
Right.
And it is there, that feeling of serving your country and doing what you can at least to protect the country. You don't just have to be an army guy to do that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, you are doing yourself, like going for the IPO. Congratulations to you and your team. That's a
Thank you.
fantastic thing. And
Thank
you are
you.
helping build the economy as well. People internationally now are looking at
Yes.
becoming an independent director. Like I myself gave a reference to a couple of people like who
Mm,
were based out of UK that who were interested, and I
mm.
said yes, you should get in touch and probably
Company.
try to be part of that boot camp.
Nice.
So anyone like if they want to connect with me, my lines are open. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and yeah, I highly recommend you folks any day.
Thank you, Nishant, and I look forward to hearing news of your appointment as an independent director too.
Thanks.
Cheers
Thanks
and
a lot.
move on.